Louisa Fletcher lived in the last century, and she was an author, and her perhaps most famous poem was entitled "The Land of Beginning Again." It includes the lines, "I wish there were some wonderful place in the land of beginning again, where all our mistakes and all our heartaches and all our poor selfish grief could be dropped like a shabby old coat at the door and never be put on again." In a way, Lent is the land of beginning again. We can get rid of our mistakes, drop them like an old coat at the door and never put them on again. It's nice to be given a second chance. I know whenever I make a mistake or misjudge a situation, I'm always grateful for another chance to get it right. In the working place, the idea of a second chance often comes in the form of warnings. First oral or verbal, and then a written warning. And a written warning not only gives a second chance, but makes it clear that if we don't improve, there could be serious consequences. Today's gospel story is both an oral and written warning, but it's told in the form of a story of a fig tree. According with the custom of the day, a fig tree was usually given 3 years to bear fruit. In the story, the owner has waited the customary 3 years, but nothing has happened. The vine dresser pleads with the owner to give the tree one more chance, one more year, and if it doesn't bear fruit, it can be cut down. It's not really about fig trees, but about ourselves. And it's read during the season of Lent because it's a time when we all receive the invitation to repent and change. We're given another chance. We don't know if it's our last chance or not, but 1 year it will be. We will have lived out our last Lent. It's important to note that the fig tree didn't do anything wrong. It simply did nothing. You and I may sometimes be content in looking at our lives and say, well, I'm really not doing anything seriously wrong. What Jesus is asking me and asking you is not simply, what are you doing wrong? But what are you not doing that you ought to be doing? For those of us brought up in the Baltimore Catechism, and we are getting fewer and fewer in number, you may remember the distinction between sins of commission and sins of omission. And commission was the action that what we did is wrong, but omission is the failure to act when we should. As we move through Lent, we need to see how we need to eliminate some habits and actions in our lives, and at the same time, introduce good habits or virtues. Look first at the opportunity we have this Lent to make changes in our own behavior, the patterns of or habits in our lives that ought to be modified or changed. We also need to examine our lives and see how we might introduce or build on the virtues of patience, forgiveness, concern, or compassion to others. We are the fig tree. The Lord is offering us the land of beginning again. And how are we prepared to respond?